Hello, everyone. Welcome to APH's Virtual Excel Academy, creating your own personal passport. And this is part 3. Hopefully you've had a chance to be involved in parts 1 and 2, but we're excited to bring Amy Query back for another wonderful session. Please keep in mind that you can drop any fun things in the chat as we get started. We'd like to know who's out there and look forward to hearing from you. So Amy, let's turn it over to you. It's all yours.
Thank you. Hi, Donnie. I will see a couple of names that I've seen in the previous sessions. It's so fun to have you back. And I'm excited to be back. This is going to be a fun session. We are going to think a lot, and we are going to do quite a bit of actual either writing or different tool use today. So I'm very, very excited. And it is good to see everyone, and thank you those who are writing in the chat. So for those of you who may be just joining, again, my name is Amy Query, and this is part 3. So we, just to give you a little description of me, I am in my mid-30s, and I have dark brown hair, long dark brown hair that's down, and green eyes, and I currently sitting in my office that has a really dark blue wall behind me. And I am excited to be here. And I see that Isabel, it looks like, raised her hand. Isabel, did you have something you wanted to say?
So I have a question.
Sure.
Are our passports supposed to have our contact information in them?
That is such a great question, Isabel. And actually today we're going to go through and together and pick some information that we'll include. And we'll also talk about things that we do not want to include in the passport. Okay. So we will be talking about that a lot, and your question will be answered, okay?
And if we don't make it in this session, could we like do it beyond the session, or?
Absolutely. So okay. I'm going to give some time today to go through, and we're going to kind of walk through how we would make it together. But if you don't have what you need to make it right now, you could just think about how you would want it to be and the types of things you want to put on it. And then you could always rewatch this later. Anybody can watch this later. It's being recorded. So even those who aren't here today can go back and rewatch it as many times as you need in order to help make your passport. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you bet. Thanks for your questions. Those are great.
You're welcome.
Okay, so like before, I'm going to do a quick review because some people might not have been here for the last couple of times, and it's always nice to get a refresher after a long week. Let's talk about a couple of things. So one, we've been talking a lot about what is a passport, what is a personal passport, and we've been going through all of our WH, our 5, I'm holding up my hand with my 5 fingers, 5 WH questions, and how we answer those questions about our personal passport. So for those of you who are watching right now, or maybe you're watching this recording later, think about how would you tell someone what a personal passport is? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that. If you want to answer, you're welcome to, or you can just think about it. And we'll talk about it in a minute for those who haven't been joining us. So how would you tell someone what a personal passport is? I see that Monica says it is a way to share your interests And Nadia said in the chat, all the stuff about me. Absolutely. It is about you. And it is a way to share what you're interested in. Great. And Lucy says things that you like. Absolutely. And also, Lucy, we can also include things that we don't like that are really important for other people to know. Great. You guys have remembered a lot. Nice. And Donnie just said at the same time what you don't like. Great. All of those things can be included in our personal passport. A personal passport is a way for us to feel like somebody, to explain to somebody else more about us. It helps us feel like they can understand us better. And sometimes we can do that with our words, just talking out loud. But sometimes we need to have something that we've thought about that would be important information to tell somebody. And so the personal passport should include information that we really would like someone to know so that we could feel like they understand us better. And it's a way for us to control what somebody knows about us. We get to choose what people know. So let's review our 5 WH questions that we've been working on. So I'm going to hold up my blackboard that we've been showing every week. And it has all of my 5 WH questions, our pictures on here. So let's go through. The first one we've talked about is what? What is a personal passport? And I'm holding my picture of the word what with a black box opened with a question mark coming out of it. What is a personal passport? The next thing we've talked about was our why. Why do we have a personal passport? I'm holding my picture with the word why. And I am also holding with the why, it has a person that has one of those think bubbles, a little bubble by their head that has a question mark. Why? The next WH word we've been talking about is when. When do we use a personal passport? I am holding a picture of the word when, W-H-E-N. It has a clock, a picture of a clock with a question mark in the middle. When do we use a personal passport? We talked about where. Here is my picture of the word where, W-H-E-R-E. Where do we use our personal passport? This picture is a map, an unfolded map, one that's open, and it has a question mark above it. Where do we use a personal passport? And the last WH question word we worked on was who. I am holding the picture with the word who, W-H-O, and it has a picture of a person with a question mark on the face. Who do we share it with? So let's just take a brief minute to talk about each of these to get our minds thinking about it so that we can make our personal passports. So I'm holding up my who, picture with the word who and the person with the question mark. Do you guys remember we went through different pictures of people that we might want to share our personal passport with? I'm going to show you just a few to remember. I am holding up a picture of two girls who look like friends. They are hugging and both are smiling, and their hands are, one's wrapped around and one's on the other girl's cheek. There's two girls smiling and they look like friends. Another one we looked at was a picture of a girl. I'm holding a picture of a girl who's wearing an apron. Her hair is pulled back and she looks like she's typing. She is working at a grocery store as a cashier. So maybe you might share your personal passport with someone you work with. So some people we talked about is maybe you would share it with a teacher or someone at work or somewhere you volunteer or a friend or family. There's a lot of different people you might want to share it with. So who? We're going to be thinking about who you want to share it with. Okay, and I see a couple people in the chat put who they might share it with. Lucy says a new teacher. Okay, and Donnie says the pilot. And I don't know, Donnie, I'm not sure, but if you mean like someone on an airplane and you're traveling, you could show somebody you're traveling, yeah, that you might need help from an employee who works at the airport. Nadia said she would want to share it with her parents because maybe you want your parents to learn a little bit more about you, right? Monica says good adults. Oh, Donnie explained the airplane pilot, right? You may need to share it with someone to help travel. Great. So we talked about our who. Let's go through our what. Remember our what. I'm going to hold up the picture of the word what with the box and the question mark coming out. So remember we talked about, we played a game with our thumbs up and our thumbs down about things that we like and things that we might want to put on our personal passport. And we'll go more through that today. And also what a personal passport is. And we just talked about that. And you guys remembered, a lot of you did, what a personal passport is and what it's for. Another one was our word when. I'm holding up the when card with the word when and the clock with a question mark. When do we share a personal passport? And actually, I think earlier in the chat box, Lucy mentioned a new teacher. So not just a teacher, but a new teacher. And that's something we talked about, was sharing it with a person you just met who doesn't know you yet. And maybe they need to learn more information about you to help you be successful where you're at, right? And also with our when, we talked about that our personal passport does not stay the same. Remember that we talked about we like different things when we were 5 years old that we do when we're 20. We're doing different things. We have different teachers. So we may need to change what that looks like. And one way to do that is to look at your passport every year and make sure that it has the things you want on it and that it still makes sense for you, for what you want people to know. Okay, so let's talk about the two more WH ones that we have left, and then we'll jump into our session, okay? So I'm holding the where, the WHERE card with the map with a question mark coming out of it. Where do we show this? Well, we talked about showing it at places that wherever the people are, right? That we want to show it to. Maybe it's someone coming into our home. Maybe it's a coach when we play sports. Maybe we take it to practice with us. Maybe we take it to school with us. Okay. And then our last is our, oh, and Lucy said work. Yeah, absolutely. Our last WH word is our why. I'm holding up the why card with the picture of a person and a think bubble with a question mark coming out. And we talked about the why, and this is really important. Why are we doing this? Does anyone remember this word that I'm holding up? It's called self-determination. I'm just holding up a folded white piece of paper that has the written word in black, self-determination. Does anyone remember what that means? You can just think about it for a minute. What does self-determination mean for you? Because self-determination is our why. Our why we're doing this. Helping us feel like somebody understands us more and that we have the control to being able to tell somebody the things we want them to know. Helps us feel like we've made better friends. And it helps us really have a better day no matter what we're doing. And that helps us feel better. It helps us feel good, which is self-determination. It makes us feel in control of our lives. And I see that Donnie put, yeah, why? To be more independent. Absolutely. It is a way to be more independent. Great. Nadia said, thinking how I feel. You know what, Nadia, what's interesting is I have a hard time using my words when I use my speech, I vocalize because I am able to do that, but I still have a hard time telling people how I feel. And so writing things down for me actually helps me think about it. And it makes it easier for me to explain it to somebody else. And Monica says it means knowing things about yourself and sharing that information. That is all why we do this. Yeah, absolutely. Great. So my goal for today is that at the end of this session, you'll either have your personal passport in your hand, or at least you can have a good idea of the things that you want to put on your personal passport and what you want it to look like, so that when you have time after this session, that you will make sure you create your personal passport and that you'll know who you want to share it with. Because it only helps us if we do it, right? If we share it, the information. And if we actually think about those things that we want to share with other people. So that's my goal for you today. And I love that Isabel already asked that question about what if you don't have the materials that I'm going to use today. That's okay. You could also even just record your thoughts. Maybe if you have a phone, you can record what you're thinking as we go through this. Or you can write a couple of things down if you're able, or have a partner help you. Or you can just think about it and then set some time to do it later. Okay. So we are going to go through some steps here to make our personal passport. And a couple of the things that would be great for you to have would be one, a picture, at least one picture of you. Because it's important to have a way for somebody, if they were to have this paper in their hand, it's important for them to be able to, if they don't know your name, to look at a picture and be able to know who it's about. Right? Because it doesn't do them any good if they don't know who it's about. So some people put more than one picture and some people put one. So having a picture, having a piece of paper, whether you can write or someone else can help you write, or maybe you have a way to type it, that's fine too, however works for you. You'll need something to write with, what a pencil, or maybe you need a writing guide to help. Or if you just want to use something to record yourself out loud, that's great too. We'll just describe some different ways you can do this throughout, because the thing that's a little challenging, a little hard about it is that it is different for each person. And so it really is going to be yours and something you feel good about. But I'll give you ideas, because that's what I want to do, is discuss ideas and give you the ideas that you need to make one. Okay. So I'm going to give you just a minute in case those of you have some of those things by you and you can grab those tools. I am going to give you a minute to grab those things. Remember we talked about maybe a picture if you have it. I'm holding up my finger. I'm pointing one picture, something to write with, number 2, and something to write on, whatever that looks like for you. Oh, and if you have tape or something you want to put your picture on with, like tape or glue or a staple, you can get one of those things too. And for those of you who are gathering them, you can write, go ahead and type in the chat when you have your things. And Donnie said he doesn't have those, and that's okay, Donnie. You can just follow along with us and you can think about it, about how you want it to look, okay? Or if you have something to record what you're thinking, you can do it that way too. It's just so that you are ready and you know what you want to put on your personal passport. Okay. So hopefully everyone has had time to get the materials if they have them. If not, we'll still be asking a lot of questions and you'll be answering questions and thinking about things. So don't worry if you don't have them today. You can always rewatch this later and go ahead and make it, okay? So step 1, we need to find our paper that we brought. So I just have a white piece of computer paper that I'm holding up. And today I'm just gonna write mine down. I'm gonna go back and type it later, but right now I'm just gonna write the things down that I want on here. I found my sheet of paper, so go ahead and do that. And then I also have my picture of me. I'm holding up a picture of my face and my hair, and I'm smiling. It's a little bit glossy. It's not a very big picture. It's probably 3 inches high and 2 inches across. And I'm actually going to grab some tape. I'm going to grab a little piece of tape and I'm going to tape my picture in the corner of my paper. Doesn't matter what corner, however you like. So I'm going to kind of feel the edges and put my picture right in the corner. I will show you. So I'm holding up my white piece of computer paper. And my picture is taped onto my paper and it lines up to the corner. And mine is on my right corner. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. Or just think about what picture of yourself you might want to use. Okay, so when we're done taping our picture, I'm going to find my way along the edge to somewhere in the middle of the paper. And I'm going to write what day it is today. So I am going to write February 24th. And I'm even going to put the year 2022. Why do you think it would be important to put our date on this paper? The date that you made it. Let's think about that for a minute. Why is it important to put the date on this personal passport?
Same webinar. Unmute. Currently muted. Alt plus A button.
Yeah, so Nadia said so people know when she made it.
Mute. Currently unmuted. Alt
And
plus
Lucy
A
says
button.
so we know when to update it. Yes, those are right. Absolutely. So we want, oh, sorry, Isabel raised her hand. I'll go ahead and let her answer before I continue. Go ahead, Isabel.
Mute. Currently unmuted. Alt plus A button. Have you still talked about adding the contact information on your passport yet or no?
Not yet. We're so close to talking about that. We'll just wait a couple more minutes. Right
And-
now, we're talking about
Well,
we're talking about why we have the date. Do you know why we might have the date on our paper?
so that way you can remember what year you created it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Isabel. That's right. And we'll talk about that contact info in just a minute, okay?
All right.
But yeah, you're right. And Donnie also said for a memory, which is also a great way to use a personal passport. Something that you can look back on later, or someone can share it, you can share it with later.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so remember we talked about the when, right? We need
Yes.
to change our personal passports because they're not always going to stay, our interests and our likes are not always going to stay the same. So if we put the date on here, then we know when we look at it, oh, I haven't changed anything on here for a couple of years. I might want to look at this and see if it's something I need to do, or maybe, whoever is helping you with it can help you do that. So it's really important to have the date on there. Great. So after you write the date, we have been thinking this whole series about who we're going to share it with. Think about it one more time. For this personal passport we're making right now, who are you thinking about sharing it with? You don't have to answer. You can just think about it. Or you can answer if you want. But who do you want to share it with?
You.
Bobby says my family. Someone said me. Well, you're welcome to share it with me for this class if you'd like, if you have questions about it. Nadia said she wanted to share it with her parents. Good, you guys are thinking about who. I am actually going to share it with my family. Monica says she wants to share it with a paraprofessional. So someone at school who works with her. Great ideas. Remember, everyone's will be different. And Bobby also says, my best friend, that he wants to share it with. Great. Wonderful. Okay, so now that you guys know who you want to share it with, I want you to remember one thing, okay? Remember that this is your choice. You do not have to share anything that you do not want to share. So as we go through talking about what we might put on here, I just want you to remember, it's not that you have to share this information. Only share things that you feel comfortable sharing with that person that you chose. Okay, this is about you choosing what you want to share so that you have control over what somebody knows about you and so that it helps you. Okay, and so when Isabel talked about contact information, which is a great question. Now, as we go to the next step, we're going to talk about kind of in like an introduction. So sharing, our name, which is part of contact information, sharing our name, but we do not want to share things like our address, right? Where we live. That's personal information that we do not need to share and that we don't want to share, okay? So there are things that we'll talk about in a minute after the next step that we do not want to share. But for contact information, it is good to put your name so they know who you are. But you do not need to put your address or where you live, okay? Or your phone number. That's not something you need to put either. And I would say that it's something that you really wouldn't want to share on this piece of paper, on the personal passport. I hope that answers your question, Isabel, or anybody else who had that question. And I think it'll make even more sense as we keep talking, okay? So just remember, this is your choice. Yeah, and Donnie said, don't put your email. Great, personal information, yeah. Okay, so our next step, we're gonna start putting things down. I hope you're ready, I'm excited. So the next step, I'm going to write, you should write, and I will write about who you are. Very short, it doesn't need to be long, but you want them to know something about you. The very first thing you would tell someone about yourself. So I would put my name. So I'm going to write, my name is Amy. So it would be great to put your name. Who are you? Yeah, and Donnie's thinking about it. He's saying he would write his name, Donnie. And the next thing I'm going to put is something about me that I want my family or somebody to know. And that's that I am a teacher. And I'm proud of that. I love that. And I want them to know that's really important to me, that they know that about me. I am a teacher. And I also want them to know, because I love it, that I'm a mom. And I'm going to share this with my family, and I want them to know that I am proud that I am a mom. I'm sharing with you what I'm writing so it can give you ideas about what you might want to write. Think about who you're writing this to. Okay, so if you're writing it to a teacher, you might want to put something like, I am an artist, if you love art, or I am an athlete, or whatever it is that you feel about yourself that you want people to know. I am also going to put for me that I feel happiest and I feel like I can think the best when I have a clean environment around me, when I have a clean and quiet space. So if there's a lot of noise around me and I'm trying to do something, it stresses me out. I don't like the way it makes me feel, and I have a really hard time thinking. So for me, I want somebody to know that I really like to have quiet space and a clean space so that I can think and do my work. And that's really important to me in my house. It's really important to me at work, in my office, and around other people I work with. So that is something about me. And I want you to think something about you. What do you need in your classroom or at home so that you feel happiest? I'm going to give you a minute to think about it or to put it down. Hubby says that he likes to have good background music. Yeah, some people actually do better with music, right? It helps them. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great thing to include if that's something you feel like you need or that makes you happiest. I'm also going to put that I get overwhelmed. So that means I get kind of frustrated or I just want to shut down if too many people talk to me at the same time. So it's good for my kids to know that about me so that they don't come and all try to talk to me at the same time. And so what happens to me is I get frustrated if someone does that, if a couple of people do that. And then I need a couple of minutes to calm down and take some deep breaths. And so I want somebody to know that, especially I'm writing this to my family. I want them to know that I need a couple minutes, if that happens, to take some deep breaths. So you can think about maybe what you need when you feel a certain way. What do you want someone to know that you need if you're feeling frustrated or upset, or what you look like when you feel happy? Donnie said he gets mad and sad. Yeah, we all do, right? Absolutely. So think about what you might want someone to know so they can help you when you feel mad or sad. How do you act when you feel mad or sad? Do you cry? Do you have a hard time calming down and you want to stomp your feet? What is it that you do? Monica says she needs to take deep breaths. If she gets overwhelmed, that's what I do too. And so I'm writing that down on my personal passport. And Donnie says he's always in tears. So Donnie, think about what someone can do to help you when you feel like that. What would you want them to know? How they could help you? I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. And I'm going to write on mine that I don't like when people talk to me, too many people talk to me at the same time, I get frustrated. We'll give you one more minute to write a couple of things down or work with someone else to think about a couple of ideas that would be good to put about your feelings and what you need. So Lucy says that she needs to be left alone when she's feeling upset. That's a really great thing for somebody to know. that you need some time before they try to talk to you. Donnie says that he's okay. And Monica says that she uses a feeling chart so that she can point to her feeling chart and it helps her tell somebody else how she's feeling. And that's a great thing for somebody to know so that they can make sure the feeling chart is there, right? So that it's there for you if you get upset. Great. Donnie said that's a perfect idea. It's a great idea. I love hearing everybody's ideas. It makes me get more ideas about my own. There's something else that I want to write on here that I think is really important for some people to know. And that is, I actually really love to communicate using American Sign Language, but whenever I use American Sign Language, I feel very nervous still. So what happens is I really need someone to be patient with me because when I get nervous, I forget things. So sometimes I forget how to sign something because I feel so nervous. And so when I am talking to somebody or working with someone who uses American Sign Language, I want them to know when I first meet them that I still get nervous and I would like them to be patient with me. Okay, so I'm going to put that on my personal passport about what I need when I'm communicating in American Sign Language. Think about what you might need in the way that you talk to somebody. Okay, because everyone's a little different with how they talk or how they communicate. And Donnie said, I thought people can't see your hands in American Sign Language. It depends on the person, Donnie. Some people who have their eyesight can use American Sign Language and see it, but some people who do not have their eyesight have to feel it in their hands. Yeah. So it's a great thing to include on here if you need people to know information like that. So I'm going to write some more down. And I want you to think about it too. And oh, Nadia had a great one. She said, I need people to talk out loud. Yeah, that's really important for people to know. It's important for us to think about making sure we're telling them that. Great. I'm going to give you a minute to write a little bit more about how you talk to people, how you communicate. What do you need? And Nadia said she talks quietly. Yeah, Nadia, it might be important for someone to know that when you feel nervous or that just your voice is quieter. And so maybe that's not when you're nervous, maybe it's just quiet. And so you just want someone to know that it's okay for them to ask you to speak louder if they can't hear you. So while we're finishing this step, I do want to go back to Isabel's comment about what type of information we would not want to put on here. Because that is really important to know that there are some things that are okay to share and there are some things to keep us safe that we do not want to share. And so I'm wondering if you guys think about it for a minute, if you can think of something you would really not want to share. And we talked about one of those being your address. We do not need to share our address with anybody. that we'd be giving our personal passport to. Can you think of anything else you might not want to include on your personal passport? Think about that for a minute. I know Donnie earlier, I believe it was Donnie who said email. Bobby says a phone number, his phone number. Yeah. Donnie said private conversation. Sure. Anything that's very, very personal, huh? You would not want to put on here. Absolutely. Anything that would make you feel uncomfortable. Anything about our money, right? Or maybe our banks, if we have a bank account. We wouldn't want to put any of that type of money stuff on there. So if you're unsure whether you have information on your personal passport that you should, maybe you shouldn't have, or you should, you can find someone that you really trust. So maybe a parent, or, someone you live with who takes care of you, or someone who helps you a lot. You can have them work with you on making this and going over what you put to make sure that it's all safe information to put on there and information that would be helpful. Okay. Great. I'm loving this so far. I'm going to show you mine for those of you who like to have a visual, and I'll describe it. So far I'm just holding up my piece of computer paper that has my picture in the corner. And then I have my date at the top of the page. And then I have, not yet, I don't have half my paper full yet, but I have about probably 15 lines filled up. Okay. And notice that my personal passport, it's not really pretty. It's just some small writing that I've done with my black marker. It is very small, Donnie. You're right. My writing is very small. It's all the things that we've already talked about that I told you I'd write on here. But that's what mine looks like so far. And so it doesn't have to be anything that's fancy or pretty, but it is something that someone should be able to look at kind of quickly and learn something about you, right? So let's just think, we're going to have a couple more steps to think about a couple more things that we would like to put on our personal passport. So the next step is, what tools do you need to be successful? And in this question, when I say tools, I'm thinking about something you might actually touch or hold or use in that way. So a couple of examples of that might be, you have to have your glasses on to see something. So glasses is something you can actually feel and use on your face. What's something that you would need somebody to know that you would need? So glasses, you might want someone to know that you need an interpreter or you need a captionist. Lucy says you might want someone to know that you have to use a white cane. Great. Maybe you need a speaker system, an FM system. And Nadia says she really needs her Braille writer. Great. That's another really great tool that she needs. Bobby says he needs his iPhone or his Android device. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we need our communication device if we, aren't using speech, or if we're not using sign language or another way to communicate. We need to make sure we have that there with us. Maybe we're using the iPhone to communicate, right? Yeah, so what tools do you need to be successful? Maybe it's a cochlear implant. whatever it is that you need, write those things down or say them out loud or think about them. We want to include what tools we need on our personal passport. So Nadia named a couple. She named her Braille writer, and she also needs her voiceover on her laptop. Great. I'm so glad that you know that you need those things. And that's really important for you to be able to say to somebody else or communicate to somebody else, right? Great. I'm going to give you a minute to write some tools down that you might need. Donnie said he needs hammer and nails. Maybe. First, I don't know what you need hammer and nails for. Are you working on a job or a project? Maybe that's something you need if you were hired to build something. You need to communicate that to somebody. Nadia said, I need people to describe things to me. I love that. That's a really great thing to explain to somebody, right? Because not everybody knows to do that, to describe things out loud. And so think about who you're writing to. And remember, this is personal information that will help you. It will help somebody else help you. Okay, so let's finish writing our tools. Oh, Donnie said, I'm so confused about what kind of tools. That's why you wrote hammer and nails. I get it, Donnie. So there's two different kinds of tools. Donnie is talking about tools that you use to build, that you can buy at a hardware store, right? Like Home Depot. So you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's if you've ever been to one of those stores, and you can buy a drill, maybe to hang a picture on your wall. That's a tool. Or hammer and nails to build something, or a saw. There's different types of tools that you would use to make something. Okay. The tools I'm talking about are tools, not necessarily things to build with, but that can help you with the way you can see or hear, or what you need to touch in order to know what's going on around you. So if I'm at work or in a classroom, and let's say a teacher is talking, but I can't see them, but they don't know that. They don't understand that I'm not seeing what they're writing on the board, and then I'm not hearing what they're saying. Okay, so I need to be able to tell them what I need to be able to see the board. Maybe I need a different color marker for them to use. Maybe I need my glasses that aren't on my face. So it is like a different kind of tool that helps you see, hear, or communicate with someone else, or things you might need to touch in order to know what's going on in your environment. Does that make sense, Donnie? I hope that it does. Like a sighted guide. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're getting it. So that was actually a great comment you brought up, because there are different types of tools. Yeah. Okay. So after you talked about your tools that you needed, now we're going to go on to the next step. Okay, and we're going to finish up with this next step here. We're going to talk about what other things might you need to help you? What works for you? So maybe you do a lot better when someone gives you choices. Maybe you need pictures to make choices. Maybe you need to move around and take breaks in order to work. Maybe you need words to be bigger to see them. There's all sorts of things that you might need. Maybe you need extra time to think when someone says something to you. So anything that you need to help you, it would be so great to put down on your personal passport. So I'm going to give you just one more minute to think about that. And I'll give you a couple of ideas while you're doing that. And then we're going to finish our lesson today because time is already almost up. Donnie said he does a lot better when somebody gives him verbal prompts in large print. That's exactly what you would want to put on there because that helps somebody else know how to help, right? And what you need. Think about maybe, how do I learn best? Do I learn best through listening or through Braille, through writing? What size group of people do I do better with? A small group, a large group? Yeah, Nadia, great comment too. What do you need for tests? All sorts of kinds of questions you can think about, okay? And if you're not done, that's okay. Remember, you can go back, you can watch this, you can think about it, you can change it at any time. This is about you and information you want people to know that can help, okay? So one other thing I want to mention is if you are a person who likes to have or needs tactile information, so being able to feel something, like Nadia, you could add Braille, but also you can have someone or yourself put print, like type it and then put Braille, so that think about the person you're giving it to so that they can have access to it and that you can also have access to it. So we need to be able to have both people be able to know what's on this personal passport, okay? Maybe you want to put a sticker or something in the corner to know what it is when you fill the piece of paper. Maybe you just want to record it so that you can hear it and that somebody else can hear it. That's fine too, whatever works for you. So I'm going to encourage you guys, for those of you who are here and who also are just watching the recording, to go back as many times as you need. And I know that there's probably a lot of questions because it really is something that is special to you. And so if you have more questions, if you want to, you could even go online with, if you need assistance, you can ask somebody to help you. And you can learn more about what to put on your personal passport. If you were just to look on the internet and type in special education personal passports, and you'll find different pictures of what they can look like or different questions that you might want to answer to put on there. There are so many different ways you can make it. Okay, Nadia asked, how long is the video for? These sessions are an hour long. Does that answer your question? So when you go back to think about it, to rewatch it, if you wanted to go back and rewatch and think about it, it's usually about an hour long. So a couple of them are a little bit shorter than that. Okay. So we are about to end. Does anyone have any other questions about our personal passport before we're done? Nadia wants to know how long these videos stay up, for how many years. I actually do not know the answer to that. I think that they're up for as long as
I think they're
don't know.
up for an unlimited period of time. I
Yeah.
don't think they go away at all.
Great. So you can always refer back to this, even in a year from now, if you want to update it. I am so grateful. Thank you for working with me and for making your personal passport. And I hope that it's useful for you and that you share it with someone that you really want to know more information about you. Donnie asked if I'm going to be back anytime soon. I don't have a plan for that yet, Donnie. Maybe some other time, okay? Thank you so much for joining.
All right, Amy, thank you so much for all 3 of these webinars on creating your own personal passport. Hopefully you all have had a chance to create a passport and can use it as you go through your next year or 2, and that you'll really enjoy using them in the future. Just wanted to let you know as we wrap up that the next Excel Academies are going to be March 12th, 19th, and 26th. Skills you can use, and this is all in the kitchen. So hopefully you will come back for that in March, and we really look forward to seeing all of you again. Again, thank you, Amy, and this completes this Excel Academy. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye.